We're all actually ready? We're all doing this? Alright. Let's not waste any freaking time, shall we?
Hey, you just
Alright. Welcome back, everybody. Bunch of smiling faces. Y'all look like you're about to die. Maybe you are. We do have combat this session. Maybe. Depending on what you guys get, where you guys go, what you guys do. Well, I'll get right into the recap. If you guys have any questions, as per usual, I know we've been not doing this regularly for a while, so feel free to jump in with any questions, yada yada, so on and so forth. Okay, let me start reading. Last we scribed, our group known as Algavat completed their arduous trek to Quilldeep, capital of the Breszi Empire. Continued to gain the audience that was offered with the Breszi Empire leadership, taking in the sights of the Keen Spire, the Gallery of Tribunals, and the Terrace of Accord from afar. The seat of the Breszi Empire's might was a sight of opulence that many of our curious outsiders had not yet seen equaled. After a rocky river crossing, the group entered Quilldeep, looking to pick up as well as offload a few items. They followed Gardak's direction to a trading sector near a smith that he knew well. Within, they met a curious cast of shopkeepers, many of whom kept their business circular amongst each other, taking the time to barter deals and Gardak reuniting with Kalthid, a forge for the Empire's best, who Gardak apprenticed under. The group completed their commerce and set their sights towards the Keen Spire and an audience with Breszi leadership. Upon making their approach, the group spotted a skyship mooring along one of the nearby platforms, its insignia marked with dragons. Once inside the Keen Spire, their belongings were assessed, noted, and they were allowed entry and audience to the Breszi leadership. As Rox began to speak, she was politely, but directly asked to wait a few moments, so that Empress Zarya Ulan could speak with her son. There, it was revealed that Gardak Riverguard Kolakavi, prime custodian of the Breszi Empire, was in direct service and charged with the protection of the Emperor and Empress during his tenure. For it was she who took Gardak in when he was within an inch of his young life all those years ago. And through the years, Gardak became, in a manner of speaking, both her adopted son and steadfast protector. Algavat relayed much of their story so far, and Rox shared what she knew about the attack on her people, the Enfyx Kith. Little more than simple facts and history were recounted about an enemy known as the Cloaked Serpent, once thought vanquished, yet evidently returned. The discussion, however, was cut short, as the large doors behind them were thrust open and what seemed to be whispers of the affirmation of war were shared. The northern contingency, something Algavat had first heard about from Genfield Joris, the enchanter from the Azure Grove, had seemingly progressed to a higher stage of alert. A short moment of apologies and dismissal took place, but Volmar offered to Gardak the ability to regain the art form of which his practice he had lost. Taking back up the staff he used in service, Gardak has begun the road to relearning the combat form he helped create, and that which the Prime Custodians now almost solely use. Algavat were asked to seek out individual members of Zarya and Volmar's respective councils if they had any further questions, and Alyavendi, the prime site of foreign intrigues, was instructed to ferry them where they needed to go when they were ready. Within rooms provided to them, Rox used to speak with animals to talk to her companion, Bar Mitzvah, a small raccoon, generally just updating him on what was going on and describing what their next steps were. When she mentioned that perhaps there was something in the valley she was from, however, Bar Mitzvah remarked upon what evidently was a metal structure deep within the rock, what few times he did venture into the small cracks and crevices. Zesrin, Maslin, and Draku sought an audience with Vezrin, the prime site in the Empress's palm, her right-hand man. Maslin inquired about a stone that he carries, which appears inert, and through conversation, Vezrin revealed that he once traveled with Maslin's father, one of their final goals during their journey being to use the Zinar stone to bind an entity known as the Strife Emperor long enough to seal their banishment. The tactics that led to his father's demise correlated closely with the tactics used by the Cloaked Serpent's agents, but there's no denying it was some form of payback for the Strife Emperor. As the conversation carried on, Maslin spat out in frustration, remarking upon what everyone, indeed, within the former meeting felt, but didn't have the heart to say. That the Breszi Empire and its leadership were blindsided by these burgeoning opponents, and now with the whispers of war on the wings, the only thing that is clear is how little everyone knows. We begin, you all having just stepped through the rift that Alyavendi created, kind of hustling you all through, remarking that there's not a whole, the rift won't stay open a whole bunch of time. You get a slight glimpse of a mountainside as you progress inward. You all feel an upchurning, almost vertigo in your stomachs, as you find yourself tumbling through a space that is wholly unfamiliar to each of you. You feel as though you're going to land flat on your back, but as soon as you kind of emerge out of the rift, stumbling a bit with the inertia that you ran in with, you find yourself in the wilderness, at the base of the Venbor Range. Towering high above you are the mountains of the Venbor Range, from a different perspective than any of you have ever seen before. As you kind of take in your surroundings, you get a sense, the many times that it's been described to you, you're somewhere between, on the east side of Ember Crossing, and if the information is correct, you're on the west side of where the Enfyx Kith have their refugee camp. As you kind of glance about, you can see off in the distance a herd of maybe 100, 200 sheep being shepherded, little shepherding dogs running along. It seems that someone's moving their flock. And just off on the left, in the far distance, you can see the singular tower for the town you presume to be Ember's Crossing. However, your goal, depending on where you guys choose to go, appears to lie to the northeast. So, before we get into what you guys would like to do, I would like to do a bit of housekeeping. Our two wizards, congratulations on reaching level 6. I hope you both picked your 2 free spells you get with your level up. If not, consider doing it. For you two wizards as well, because you guys are the only ones that get to do it, now's a great time to choose your spells for the day, if you haven't already. Does anyone have any gameplay-related questions or things they want to tell me before we begin?
The Blood Axe that Rox got last time is not automatically adding the 2 to hit into damage.
Can't do a custom override?
No, we custom overrided it, just letting you know.
There we go.
The off chance you wanted to fix it.
Perfect. I'll probably make a custom one at some point, or probably never, to be honest.
No worries.
Probably never, because it's already been done. No point in me making a whole custom item for it. So we have no other gameplay-related questions. Then, Algavat, what would you 6, 7 like to do?
So we're heading back to your town, Rocks.
Looks like where I need to go at least. You're all more than welcome to come.
I might be taking up the life of a drifter at this point. I'm not sure.
I think I've come a little too far to kind of turn around now. Literally.
Well, it sounds like that's what we came here for, so let's get a move on.
Okay. You can see the wisps of what you presume to be campfires, bonfires, or the sort. A little bit north and a little bit east, tracking along the side of the mountain that you're close to. It looks to be about a mile away. As you all make the trek that direction.
Should we kind of sneak up on them?
Why would we sneak?
I don't know. Just
For fun?
in case something's wrong.
You're not wrong. I've come back to this village on bad terms before. That might not be a bad idea.
Okay. Stealth checks from everybody, I
Stealth
presume.
I will cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
I got a whopping 9.
Plus 10. Everyone gets plus
Yeah,
10.
you have plus 10 to whatever your result is.
I should
So
just assume that I
26.
got an 11.
You no longer roll a disadvantage, Gardeck. Just so you know.
Gardeck doesn't. I still do, as a person.
Okay, well.
16.
How about that? How about the new feat you took, ma'am? Would you like to use that?
I got a 16, so I'll stick with that.
Okay. Traveling together as a bit of a group, keeping your head low. It's interesting. You're in the shadow of the Vinbor range, but even around you guys, thanks to Drusk's spell, the shadows seem to coalesce in almost a natural form. It looks as though maybe a rain cloud, per se, is blotting out your specific area. A kind of darker, obscuring more of the light. Gives you a bit of an edge as you kind of stay along the side of the mountain. Every once in a while, cliffs and then rocky bits. As you begin to draw closer, you can see the squat tents, what appears to be the hovel homesteads. Rocks, you don't recognize the buildings as they are. The layout eerily similar to those you found with you in the Stroth. But it's very clear that kind of a hasty setup, displaced, refugees of a form. However, it doesn't appear that there's anything untowards, unless somebody wants to kind of get advantage and roll a perception check.
I was gonna do that, yeah.
Very
If I
well.
can.
Go ahead. Make a perception check.
Ooh, not bad. Well, 14.
14's decent enough. You scrabble up some rocks here on the mountainside, just under the shade of a tree. And you take in what appears to be smaller, because there was loss. At the tents of the Enfyx Kith, you see a small half-orc child running amongst open dirt roads, little pathways that have been carved here for what can be. You see simple hovels and small fires outside, little bits of meat on a rotisserie of a form. It's home.
I will not try to be stealthy anymore. And just kind of tentatively walk in.
As you do, you can see kind of posted to the left side, kind of on the cliff face where you just descended from, about a 600 feet at this point. You can see a couple guards just kind of keeping watch, and you can see one of them as they kind of have their bow at a low rest. When they see you, their bow just kind of sags. As you begin to press into the homestead of the Enfyx Kith. Where are you going?
I want to look for anyone familiar. So, I assume the guards recognized me.
You saw a look of recognition and a pang of sadness. if
I'll
you will.
go ask them if they know.
Yeah, you notice this
Anything.
guard, Ellen. It's a half elf. And as you kind of approach Ellen, they didn't think we'd be seeing you again, Rox. You must be looking for your parents.
Anyone, but especially them, yes.
You see them just kind of nod over. It's kind of hard to piece out, but as soon as you look at the direction where they nod, it's very clear. It is your homestead tent, packed up and replaced.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome back.
Thank you. I will head to their tent.
Okay.
I would also like to, as I walked in, kind of wave everybody in, assuming that, like...
I presumed everyone was
Yeah.
following.
Not like you guys stay there, but yeah.
As you make entrance to the displaced Enfyx Kith camp, you see life progressing as much as it can in the wake of the tragedy that was. But you see small families, children running about, small pets. You can see the wood craftsman, the Fletcher.
I'll let
kind of-
Bar Mitzvah out to walk by my side too,
Yep.
if I can.
And you see the town Fletcher kind of working along, teaching what appears to be some form of apprentice. And as you make entry, gotcha, Zach. You were waiting for it. I know you were. As you make your way towards your parents' tent. Currently, there's no activity on the outside. A small fire kind of burns low. Looks like it could use a bit of wood thrown on it.
Guys, I'll be right back. You're safe here. I think the guards saw you with me, so no need to be on edge. I'll be right back.
Okay. Kind of tossing aside the front folds. Make an entry here. You see your mother, Ilre, kind of look up from this piece of thatch that she's working on, just spotting you. There's a surprised gasp and a kind of a startled as she kind of jerks, not expecting to see you, of all people. Is Juniper okay?
Yeah, she's okay. I think she just scared herself.
Don't want doggo or getting hurt.
I know, yeah.
You see she knocks over a small bowl with what appears to be some beads and other trinkets in it. Rox! Oh my gosh! Den! As she just runs over to you and takes you up in a big hug, and you kind of hear some rustling from a room sequestered in the corner. And your father, Den, as well. Both half-orcs, just for everybody else's notation. It's a family of half-orcs, just like Rox. As they're stunned and
Hold on, we're a
shocked
little tangled.
to see you. Yeah, doggos get tangled up in wires.
Hello, Mother. I'm so happy to see you.
How are you? Thank God you're okay. We couldn't find you or Nyx after everything.
You couldn't find Nyx either?
Oh, I'm sorry. As your father kind of speaks up, we could not find your brother. We looked and wanted to go back. Jas even offered to look, but we never had the chance. Just on the run.
Yeah.
He's gonna be fine. I'm sure of it.
He's tough.
If you can make it, so can he.
Exactly. How are you? Are you
We're okay. We
hurt?
got lucky. When everything broke out, Brel just came in and ushered us away, and then stayed behind.
He did.
Maybe you should speak with Moore's Espy. I'm sure they'll have a lot of questions for you, but there are a couple we haven't been able to find, and some who we did recover, but...
Yeah, I should probably talk to them. I know a little bit. I know some people that you wouldn't have recovered.
Yeah. Pardon me, where are my manners? As he kind of gets low, crouching, and regards Bar Mitzvah. And you kind of see this little raccoon just kind of trot up in this leather barding, this leather armor that your father crafted for a raccoon that he had
Thank
never
you for
met.
that, by the way.
I've actually been working on a little something for him. It's good to finally meet you. What's his name?
His name is Bar Mitzvah. He picked it out.
Bar Mitzvah. I like him. I like him already. As he kind of like reaches out and just gives the raccoon a little scritch. Well, we do have your bed if you'd like to stay the night with us, and I don't know what's next for you. What is next for you?
Well, that kind of depends on once I talk to the Morse Espy. But I think I'll need quite a few beds, and I'll kind of open the curtain. These are my friends. They helped me get back to you. They helped me find you.
And we're in your debt. Thank you all very much. I'm Ilray. I'm Rox's mother. That's Den, my husband. And you already know Rox, of course.
Drusk.
It's a pleasure.
Before I go to speak to them, what do we know of the Distu tribe?
The Distu, what you know of the Distu tribe is they're a collection of Goliaths.
No. I want to know if they're safe.
Oh, so you're asking your mother?
Yeah.
And
What
father.
do we know? Yeah, of them. Have we heard from them?
I spoke shortly with Jas. He's been gone for a number of days. He wanted to double back with a search party just to pick up any stragglers, and he's left on that. But I don't think on the way out in the evacuation anyone was able to catch up on the Distu. I don't.
Okay.
We never saw smoke or heard anything from that direction, so it's possible they weren't attacked like we were. I don't know, honey. I'm sorry.
Good. That's good. That's all right. But if he does have any news, please come have him come tell us.
Well, you'd have to speak with the SB about Jas, but if anybody would know, it would be the SB.
Okay.
We're kind of just grieving still.
As he should be. That was the most horrendous sight to see, but I am just thrilled you made it out.
It's okay. As he kind of puts a hand around Ilway's shoulder, we're going to find Nyx. I'll admit I worried about you, but I probably shouldn't have. I've always believed in you, Rox.
Before I speak to the SB, I need to find Vabi's family.
Vesna did ask if you had been found. She's awaiting any news on Vabi. I'm assuming it's... As you see his kind of mouth tighten.
Yeah, my face kind of falls.
I'm sorry, Rox.
I am too.
Well, Vesna and Echo's tent is just down the way to the left. They've got some of Bobby's things hung up. I'm sure you won't miss it.
Would you mind, I don't know if you guys have any extra food, comforts, but would you mind if a couple of my friends kind of make this there?
Not at all.
Okay, thank you. Drusk, will you come with me, please?
Sure.
And I will head to Vabi's family.
Okay.
We'll start slowly putting away all the herbs and potion-making ingredients I'd been getting out over this conversation.
As you travel down this dirt path, you can see at the end the tent of what is very clearly some of Vabi's things outside. You knew Vesna and Echo well. You and Vabi were good friends even before the work queue. So it's very clear that this is where they've been displaced too.
I'll kind of yell out a hello. Are they inside or outside?
You don't see anybody inside or outside. Sorry.
Okay, then I will yell out a hello.
As you kind of yell out a hello, there's a shift of what sounds like fabric inside, and you see very quickly emerge from the front Echo, Bobby's father. I didn't really want to believe it was your voice, Rox, but you're okay. How did you survive?
It's a very long story.
Jess told us that you were up on the mountaintop when everything hit.
Yeah.
He couldn't find you or Turs or anyone else when he awoke. He couldn't find anyone. He just followed the trail.
And he made it back all right, which I am grateful for.
Yeah, he's kind of come into his own, and we're proud of him anyway. So we're his
We
parents.
should be. We all should be. Is your wife around?
Yes, sorry. Vesna, you see as he kind of calls out. Rox is home. You see as Vesna, sorry, emerges. She similarly like gasps and just kind of takes Echo around the waist with an arm. Jess told us that it was you and Bobby up on the mountaintop. Where is she?
I wish I could give you any other news, but Bobby didn't make it. She won. She was first. We were planning out where we would go next. And that's when the explosions started happening down below us. We turned around and there were these giant cloaked figures who tried to stop us from getting back down to you. And she didn't make it out of the fight. I'm so sorry.
Somehow I knew.
If you ever find, that you want to visit, we buried her, gave her a proper grave in her winner's spot up on the mountain. My friend, this is Drusk. He fought the fight with us. He gave her a beautiful array of flowers and we did all we could, and I am just so sorry.
Well, thank you. And you kind of hear as Echo's voice breaks. Thank you both. We appreciate it. We're glad you're okay, Rox.
I needed you to know. And I needed you to know that she won. She did it. She would have done our community proud. I can't imagine the heartbreak.
Rox, if you ever need anything from us, don't hesitate.
Thank you. If you ever need anything from me, the same.
You watch as they kind of collect themselves, collect some of their things, and just kind of go back inside.
And I will go back to the group.
Okay. You, as you kind of come back, I'm gonna play some liberty here and say that Bar Mitzvah had stayed.
That's fine.
As you come back, unless anyone else had anything they would like to do in the intervening time, conversation amongst themselves or with Den or Ulrich. As you two progress back down the dirt road, back to your parents' tent, Rocks, you see the rest of you have had an opportunity to observe, but you see kind of little bits of leather on the ground, and it looks like your father, Den, is affixing some form of chainmail to your little friend Bar Mitzvah.
Hell yeah.
You may now add the up-armored version of Bar Mitzvah to your character sheet.
The big one?
Mm-hmm. But I will not be changing his mini because it's too fucking good.
Understood.
His mini's incredible.
So, what's the plan from here?
I have no idea.
I have to go speak to what in our tribe is kind of a council of elders. They'll probably have more answers for us, maybe a direction.
He watches your father, Dan, is kind of adjusting just a little bit. He's like, there you go. That ought to... a little sturdier for you. Hope I got the measurements right. He kind of like nudges the raccoon. Maybe you all should go. The SP has a lot of questions. Everyone has a lot of questions.
Right. Well, thank you, Father. He looks great. I'm sure he loves it.
I'm sure he does. Kind of scraps you used to get into. I can't imagine what you're up to now with all of these fine folk.
Oh, the tales I will tell you someday.
Well, I know you're busy. I'm just glad you're back, daughter.
I'm happy to see you.
If you all end up spending the night, you have more than enough welcome here. We'll put something together. Just let us know.
Thank you very much. And I will go to the SP.
Okay. Not too hard to locate what is more of a communal tent than rather split by families. As you know, Rox, and I guess for everybody else's explanation, I'll just imagine that Rox is explaining some of this as we go. The Moors Espy is comprised of wayfinders who complete a ritual called the Worku, the challenge amongst fellow tribe mates. When they win this challenge, they gain the opportunity to become a Moor wayfinder, which essentially they go out, which is what Rox had described that she per se was, or hopes to be. You become a wayfinder and you go out in the world searching for whatever the SP has tasked you with. And when you return, which many do not return, either dead or chose not to return. But if or when you return, you may choose to be a member of the SP. So it's more of a communal, shared living, as many of the members who go out on these wayfinding journeys are more or less considered dead to their families, because very few do return. So it's not hard to find what is perhaps one of the more opulent, as well as one of the more central and larger tents. As you kind of approach, you can see Finn, the half-elf, who you know is one of the SB members, is kind of out front. And you watch as the spear that he's holding just kind of sags a little bit, as it appears that he almost loses his grip, and his hand falls about halfway down the shaft. Rox, I didn't think I'd be seeing you again. How did you make it out? Where did you come from?
Well, that's a bit of a long story. I feel like people have questions for me, and I definitely have some too, so.
Yes, June has taken over in Krell's absence.
Yeah.
We do have quite a few questions if you've got the time.
Yes, definitely.
Come inside. Jas spoke highly of your accomplishments in the work you. He's been really forward about making sure that the tribe has the scouting information it needs with what we can. As he kind of leads you inside, you can see the interior of this tent is not particularly luxurious, but there are, fine furs and general fire in the center of a stone pit of sorts. It's lit only by this campfire, but otherwise it's a fairly decent communal, per se, meeting room, if you will.
Well, hi, everyone.
As you kind of enter in, the central fire is crackling away, and you can see just off to the side the female Leonin form of Osa, who you know was one of the last Wayfinders to be returned, to have come back. Now, we're talking about 3 Wayfinders that are now SP members. 4, if you count Krell. This is a yearly ritual. That's how few Wayfinders come back.
Do they know about Krell or no?
You don't know?
Sense? Okay.
You did hear Finn say that June has taken over in Krell's absence.
Absence, yeah.
So.
Okay, that's why I asked. All right.
And off to the side, you can see, kind of emerging from the back as he hears all this commotion, the male Firbolg form of June. One of the other Wayfinders that returned and joined the SP. You can see Osa's female Leonin form has a graying mane of sorts. These are all fairly older people. Their wayfinding journey is completed many years ago.
You sounding a little underwater, my friend.
Great. I love this.
Stop flooding your room.
It's my favorite thing whenever I sound like this for no reason.
Well, it's better now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Back. Weird.
Slick.
I think it was when you were leaning back.
Oh, probably. Yeah. This mic is very
Don't
interesting.
get comfortable. How dare you?
I would never get comfortable, ma'am. I have a D&D session to run.
Disgusting.
You can see June kind of leveling his spear as well as he kind of stands up on it, using it a bit more as a walking stick these days.
Mm-hmm.
And between June, Osa, and Finn, they're just very quiet, kind of taking in the 7 of you. And you hear, like, Osa kind of grunt. A respectful puff. June kind of looks around at the others. It's... Circumstances being what they are, it's not usual to have outsiders in the Kith, but we're not on the Strath. So, be that as it may, Rox, welcome back.
Thank
Who
you.
are your friends?
I'll introduce each of them by name. They've helped me find you again. Been quite an interesting journey. I'm sure you have questions. Would you like to go first, or should I?
Well, I suppose we would start by asking you what happened to you.
Well,
Jazz said he last saw you on the top of the mountain, but he awoke, no one was around, not even Turs, who he
Right.
was standing next to.
Right. Well, after we had passed him up, it was Bobby and myself. We made a dead sprint for it, and she won. And we were standing on the mountain, taking in the Breszi Empire and the Strassi dynasty. Kind of deciding where to go next. She mentioned some loose ends that Turs had told her about in the Strassi dynasty. So that's where we were planning on heading. And all of a sudden, in the valley, the explosions started happening, and everything was engulfed in flames. And that's all we could see from up there. We had turned around to run, figure out what was going on, and these cloaked figures tried to keep us from going back down, but we took care of them. However, Bobby got caught. She was exhausted, and she gave everything in that fight. She unfortunately didn't make it out. So my friend and I, and I'll nod to Drusk, gave her a proper burial up on the mountain, and headed back down as the explosions started to fade away. And walked through the village, just kind of picking up scraps. I couldn't find anyone, and the people that I did find were long gone. One of them being Krell.
You found Krell.
I did.
He
He didn't make it. Why did he stay? Why didn't he flee?
Well, we've heard some conflicting information from some people, but by and large, we get the sense that Krell stood to cover everybody else in the
That's what
retreat.
my parents said too, that he had helped them out first and decided to stay. Which is... that makes sense knowing him, but...
As the lead of the SB, it's only right.
But then I met these fine folks after wandering for a bit, and we've gone on a whirlwind of different adventures leading us to... oh, I can't... what's her name?
Alyavendi?
Alyavendi.
As you kind of
Alyavendi.
mention this name, you can see all three of them kind of nod. Feel free to make an insight check, actually, if you'd like.
Ooh, I would.
Get their read of Alyavendi.
Oh, no.
Anyone else who would like to as well can, if you prefer.
Sure, I'll join.
10.
$13.
They're not particularly easy, per se, to read. But you get the sense, especially from Osa, who's pretty bad at hiding her respect. As you mentioned, giving Vabi a proper burial, Osa kind of looks towards Drusk and, meeting his eyes, gave what can only be considered a salute of a form, an arm crossed over the chest. But you get the sense from Osa that she respects Alyavendi. There's always been, for your knowledge, Rox, and I'm sure you are well aware of this, but everyone else is starting to pick up the more time you spend in here. A secluded valley, tribal life these people have lived, not in the larger world. Kind of hard to trust outsiders, but in this situation, you kind of don't have a choice. You said Bobby beat you in the final foot race.
He did. I made sure her parents knew.
As you should have. Speaking of Turs, when they returned from their wayfind, they told us... Maybe we should start from the top. Rock's circumstances given as they are, as they kind of take in your group, we'd like you to become a wayfinder.
Nothing would delight me more.
Jas is very ambitious, and we've respected a lot of what he's wanted to do. He's taken an advanced scouting party. He told us that you finished the work and that you are the one to be anointed, and though Vabi may have beat you in the foot race, I see no reason why you don't owe her the debt of doing it yourself. He took an advance hunting party 5 days ago to survey the Strath and the enemy and see what he could. If you follow in his steps, you'll probably find marks that he left for you to follow. As you see, he kind of pauses. With Krell gone, the responsibility passes to me to lead the SP. But I don't intend to make calls solo, as he kind of looks over at Osa and Finn. There are only 3 surviving members of the SP after the attack. There were multiple losses. If you're going to be a wayfinder, then you'll need to know, as he kind of looks over towards Osa. Osa just kind of speaks up. there's two truths that we tell every wayfinder when they're anointed. Beneath the main SP structure rests a wall made of blade, forged of metal. Each time we approach it, it responds something that says the presence of a prime genitor is required. The Harbinger's role is
Shut
yet
up.
fulfilled. We're not sure what this Harbinger is, but we think it might be a reference to generations ago in the Enfyx Kith. Our people were said to have the innate ability within themselves to do wondrous things. We have in the past brought a few trusted outsiders before this wall, and the wall does not even remark upon their presence. It is something to do with our people. We've been entirely unable to find the truth of it. It is passed down as a bit of legend that one of our wayfinders, Veneer, returned to the Espy generations ago. He had ventured to a nation called Cruidal, and he told us that he had learned that what we guard can undo the world. He referred to it as Velibis, which is what we've taken to calling the wall. However, in order to protect the Strath and what we guard, he believed he had to leave. We never heard from him again. I would like Gardak, Draku, and Zesserin to make history checks.
Shut up.
16.
17.
Also, sorry, I spelled T over like literally everything, so that's why I was like not.
Oh, okay. It's fine. It's fine. When the name Veneer is mentioned, the two of you coming from the northern Breszi Empire are familiar with the roads. There's a road that leads from north to south, from the Azure Grove down into the Qatar Divide, the swamp that bisects the Breszi Empire. It is called Veneer's Walk. And as you're thinking about the name Veneer, as this wayfinder was called, and Cruidal, Gardak, you know this well, because you know your empire's history. The northern side of the Breszi Empire used to be the Cruidal Propalancy, and the road, Veneer's Walk, is named after a hero in that war, who, while was an enemy of the Empire, took the staunch resistance and the final fighters from the Cruidal and marched south on that path. The path was named in his honor. The idea that this wayfinder returned and suspected that the threat would come from outside this tribe makes a lot of sense, given everything that you've seen. That goes for you as well, Zesserin. Being from the northern Breszi Empire, you know this story pretty well. There's a little bit of, I described this many sessions ago before we took our long hiatus. There's a bit of sour hearts and sour minds in the northern Breszi Empire. Some of them still believing they are a part of the Cruidal Propalancy, even though it was generations ago. People just hold on to things like that. So the name Veneer is passed around, as is the road that he's named after.
So is that one of the truths that they tell, or was that two?
Well, they're kind of just going over it. One of the truths is
Okay.
the installation that appears to be sequestered below.
Okay.
The second is that apparently they're looking for a prime genitor. Whatever this
Yep.
voice that responds with is, refers to the Enfyx Kith as the Harbingers, but requires a prime genitor. And at this moment, then Finn, the half-elf, speaks up. And the thing about Turs, when they returned from their wayfind, they told us that the prime genitor was a people not made in the image of this world's gods. We don't know what the world's gods are. However, they existed long before we flourished on this world. That's what Turs told us. He refused to join the Espy, and we never got a solid answer as to why. These loose ends Vabi speaks of in the dynasty, What do you make of them? Girl,
All
is
that
there a
Bobby
reason you're
told me-
smiling so fucking much?
No.
Okay.
All that Bobby told me was that Turs was shaken to the core, that she had never seen fear like that in such a strong person's eyes, and that that's where she wanted to start.
Be that as it may, as Osa speaks up. We'd like to give you leave to tackle this however you'd like. If you want to link up with Jazz. When we were leaving, we saw the enemy dragging equipment. Some metal of some form. Over near the Enfyx Kith building. Rox, I'll just be honest, whoever it is showed up for that and came prepared.
They're called the Cloaked Serpent. We've been learning more about them as we go, but that's their name.
I'm sure they die all the same. Well,
So, if you don't mind, my little friend here, this is Bar Mitzvah, he was telling me about metal in the ground. Is that the same installation that you're speaking of, or is that just a resource that they could be after?
we're not certain. All we know is the wall that speaks.
Right.
We've called it Velibus because that's what Veneer called it.
Right. Okay.
Come to think of it, I would like everybody to just make a general history check. Or wisdom, your choice. I'm sorry, let's just make this a general intelligence or wisdom check, depending on what you would prefer.
You got a whopping 6.
15.
13.
6.
Looks like yeah, I'm looking at
13.
like 24.
Jesus Christ, Ezrin. Okay. As Velbus has been mentioned a few times, you guys are thinking, where have I heard that? Where have I heard that? Draku, Zesserin, Gardak, you all realize the notes you got when you were in Welter Grove off of the Cloaked Serpent agents' bodies mentioned the phrase, "We will soon crack the mystery of Velibus," seeming to refer to either an entity or something. But it seems between the Enfyx Kith people calling this wall Velibus and the Cloaked Serpent calling it the same thing, this is no, I don't want to be insensitive, this is no tribal superstition.
Well,
So I'm assuming this is something we should deal with.
Think so.
sounds like we have to. One more question, just personal for me. Do we know how the Distu are doing?
You see as they all kind of share a pensive glance. We did have one of our scouts return, Osa speaks up. Lai reported that they were gone with no trace.
Gone with no trace.
It did not seem that there was attacks like happened to
That's
us.
good. That's good.
When they came back and reported this, we instructed them not to follow any further on any trails. As, quite frankly, we don't have the bandwidth for it.
Oh,
Rox, I think there's something you could do to help everybody's spirits around here. If
Anything.
that's... I know that you think Vabi won, and I suppose that's true. But you take up her mantle now. Go through with the anointment ceremony. It could bring a sense of normalcy here.
Happily.
We'll start to get everything prepared. Um,
Thank you for the honor. I wasn't expecting it, but somebody should.
in a strange way, June kind of speaks up. I think we've earned the right to do away with staunch tradition. Whatever secret it is that all of our generations have had us protecting is now out in the world. We must change.
I think it's time. Do you have any leads on where to start again, or here? Or are we going back?
Are you asking the SB, or are you asking your friends?
No, the SB, where they're settling down, if they know where they want to go, or if they want to go back to the range.
You see his fin kind of speaks up. I think the Stroth is home. We can be back there, then we'd prefer that. But this Alia Vendi and this Empire, it's... As long as they let us maintain our own little thing, I don't see a reason why we can't join the larger world. Even if we are still back in the Stroth.
Okay. Well, thank you for the knowledge. I guess we will...
Thank you, Rox. This is a large time of uncertainty. But we need... we need you. We need your friends.
And we'll do whatever we can.
We'll bid you leave until the ceremony. Shouldn't take too long to set up.
Thank you.
Finding yourselves back off on what I would call the central dirt road. Little dirt as it can be, given how it's freshly settled. The 7 of you emerge out of the kit of the Enfyx, or tent of the Enfyx Kith. Perhaps with more questions than answers. Or maybe more answers this time than questions. If you guys would like to take the time to talk amongst yourselves, you may discuss the revelations we've had. I can try to provide clarity where I can.
So assuming everything has been shared, the Cloaked Serpent is taking metal out of your original home, correct?
Yes, not this place that they're in now. They're taking out
Got
of...
it.
Yeah, the Strath.
They're removing the metal from the wall?
Ground.
They weren't sure
Ground,
if it
okay.
was... Yeah, if it was the wall or if it was just the metal resources.
The SP describes it as a wall. Keep in mind, no offense, Rox. These are tribal people with little understanding of the larger world.
True.
So,
There's a wall.
make of that what you will. I don't want to get insensitive about what's tribal intelligence versus what's not. But they're not able to say, like, oh, this is a magical doorway. You know, they have no idea what, if that's what it is, they would have no idea.
So it's a magical doorway.
Doorway.
It's whatever you guys think it might be at this moment until you get there and find out.
So there's this large, I assume, ancient metal wall just under the ground that they're essentially like deconstructing.
There is according to the SB, there's a wall and it speaks usually in a short couple phrases, but the most common phrase is the presence of a prime genitor is required. The harbinger's role is yet unfulfilled. That is the
Damn,
phrase.
y'all are getting prime genders? Fuck.
Okay,
Alrighty.
keep that in mind.
Okay. Okay.
Plus 20 HP. No.
So, should we head there and figure it all out after the ceremony?
I think that's what we have to do. I don't know what else.
I will tell you guys, as part of D&D and just the way I like to run my games, not that I'm suggesting that you have to do this, but if you all want to learn something and you're not sure how to phrase it, but you want to, per se, wizards, you want to think about something, or Mr. Warlock there, you want to consult your little imp friend for more information, you may always describe to me what you're looking for, if you're using some form of skill or otherwise, and I will try my best to give you exposition that matters. You do have a couple of things laying around that could be potential hints. I will tell you, primegenitor is a real word. It is different than progenitor. It's a real word, though.
Well, Gardex and Prime Custodian, are the two linked? Are the two related? Do you know?
I couldn't say. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, we should probably go to the wall and figure this out. Because, I don't know. I still don't understand what this wall is.
No, I don't either.
Do
Yeah,
we
I'd
like?
say that's our next stop.
Do we have a better idea of like what these gods are, what their image is, so that we could even make an educated guess about who this prime genitor is supposed to be?
By the way that the SP was describing what... Pull back my notes here.
I know you said that
Sorry,
they
my
didn't really
people are
know.
stupid.
I know you said they didn't really know, but do we have knowledge that they don't necessarily have? I guess.
Hold on. They relayed to you the information that when Turs returned from their wayfind, Rox, if you'd like to share who Turs is, that's fine. If not, whatever. Turs was the last wayfinder before Rox. When they returned from their wayfind, this is from the SP, they told us that the prime genitor was a people not made in the gods of this world's image. So what you can gather from that is Turs went out in the world, learned about the gods that you all know, and this being was not made in their image. If you'd like to know more, perhaps roll a religion check or describe to me how you'd like to suss that one out. But the gods prefer different images. This is not a being that is known as being created in the god's image. I will give you a freebie. The lore of the Pantheon for Balerosoa is based on the Dawn War. So there's all the usual suspects. There's Melora, there's Pelor. I know some of you guys don't know your Dawn War Pantheon, but they're very standard Dungeons and Dragons gods, I would say. They mostly take on humanoid forms. Humanoid being 2 standard legs, 2 standard arms.
Okay, so we're
A
looking for one that
tiefling is a humanoid as
isn't
much
humanoid.
as, well, keep in mind, God's creating in their own image. But a tiefling can be humanoid, and so can a human be humanoid. So is a half-elf, so is a full elf.
We're looking for something very different. So a dragon.
You're looking for something...
Or a giant. Maybe.
Well, there's a dragon.
It's not
Well, isn't
humanoid.
one of us like a giant? I don't remember.
Goliath, or
Goliath.
Gardeck,
Yeah.
Gardeck is technically a giant folk. Not particularly giant per se.
Mm.
But there is giant blood and lineage.
Almost straight up lizard, so like...
I was just about to say, yeah. Well, you're still.
Can you just like hold up Drusk and like, see if he opens anything?
I mean, I'm
Yes.
short enough, you could probably pick me up.
Puppies. Yeah,
We
I'd
gotta
say
get
that's
to that
our
wall.
that's our next.
That depends. What would you like to know about the history of the races in Balerosoa?
Well, I know that lizard folk aren't common. Drusk has talked about that. Drusk, are there lizard gods?
Yet? Would I know that?
Because of your background, Drusk, you would not know that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Who knows? Probably, but like, I was busy doing lizard shit.
If you don't believe in God, where do you believe your smoked turkey legs come from?
Good question.
Is anybody
there's-
would anybody like to leverage their character's knowledge and or history to see if they know anything about the origins of lizard folk?
I don't think I would.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
Now.
Yeah, there's no way I would.
Well, I've got a pretty solid history
There
score.
we go.
let me roll for it. I mean,
If you're a
Look, nerd
citizen of
over
the,
here.
what I will say is, unfortunately, Rocks, Drusk. If you're a citizen of the larger world, these are also folk tales. They're not necessarily something you would have.
Okay, yeah,
explicitly
yeah,
read in
no,
a
go
book.
for it. If there's a possibility, hell yeah. What
I've
is
got
it?
22 over here.
Is it
history.
religion or?
If you'd like to make a history check or I'll allow religion. It's
I mean, they're both.
actually there's a reason why
terrible
I'll
for me.
allow religion for you. It's because your tribe is more.
18.
Yeah, I was given my powers. I don't think I've ever read a book before.
Good for you.
King shit.
As the most of you,
18?
yeah. As you guys are walking back down in Ilray's tent, Maslin, you're thinking it over. Prime genitor, not made in the god's image. There's Sehanine, the Moonweaver, elf. There's Pelor, the Dawnfather, human. There's a myriad of gods. You're not aware of any of them not being standard leg configuration humanoids. Not made in the god's image. Lizard folk god? Prime genitor. Then you're thinking about, when was the last time the lizard folk had a contiguous nation? Contiguous society? And you're right on the edge, you're right on the cusp. You're just not sure. You've never... You have to assume one existed. Oh, jeez. At one point, the lizard folk had to be a contiguous people. But they're scattered to the wind.
Thinking it over.
Why don't you make one more history check for me? Just because I'm real fucking curious if you roll good again.
That one only shakes out to be a 21.
There was a war long eons ago between the primordials and the created races underneath the gods. It was a war between what you've come to understand as elementals rising up against what was, as the gods created more. And you know this well because I'll get to this part that you know extremely well because you're a learned wizard. You've done reading rather than Zesserin, who's self-taught. The primordials fought a war against the created beings out of the god's image because as they created, they began to change the very core of nature. All these different humanoid races walking around, elves, then humans, tieflings, etc. In this war, they had to tip the scales, so the gods gave the people of this world the Arcane Weave. There is an arcane weave that is bound through the very land of Balerosoa, and they gave arcane abilities, the ones that you harness, to their creations to fight and level the playing field in this war. And it was drawn to a stalemate. But you're not sure what existed during that time. You know, your people, your civilization did not exist during that time. You're not aware if the Breszi Empire existed during that time. Someone inhabited these portions of lands. But the more
So I
you
would
think about it, the more you can't shake the fact. Drusk, he's decidedly not humanoid per se. I mean, yeah, got 2 legs, 2 arms, but he's much closer to primordial than he is.
That would lead me to believe that they probably didn't or don't currently have a god, but probably didn't ever, right? I mean, as just an assumption.
Make a religion check. This one's gonna be fucking high.
Yeah, well, I'm not gonna score it, but here we go. Yeah, 18.
You're not aware of all the forms that the gods prefer. You know of some of the recent additions to the Pantheon. The Raven Queen, who has no official name. The Harbinger of Souls from this life into the next. You're not sure before that who was the last god added to the Pantheon. It's been... Even the Raven Queen has been in history books for longer than you can accurately comprehend, just off the cuff.
Yeah, Maslow's just gonna mutter to himself for the next 30 minutes, rolling things over, but not landing on anything concrete.
Can we hear you muttering?
Yeah. I'll mutter aloud about it and mention that I definitely think that there was a war between primordials and such, but wouldn't know anything about the societies before it. Nothing concrete anyway.
Can't one of us talk to the Raven Queen?
That was the last campaign.
Oh shit.
That was my game.
Damn it.
Crossover episode. Let's go.
Yeah, we need... Huh.
Well, primordials wouldn't be made in the god's image, technically.
Bar mitzvah's god-shaped, for sure.
Oh.
I almost feel like there may be more clues at the wall.
The wall will answer all.
The wall.
I don't know. I was thinking about going to the grocery store, honestly.
To the window, to the wall.
At least you have the luxury to go to a grocery store.
Okay.
Okay, so are we making our way over to the
Making our
wall?
way-
So we can.
I have a thing first, but then
Yeah, she's got an anointment appointment.
Oh,
Oh.
that sounds terrible.
Wait.
Speaking of, before I do that, we don't have to like role play it out or anything, but I want to go ask Vavi's family for something symbolic of her to wear during it, and tell them what's going on and make sure they approve all the fun stuff.
Okay. You end up outside Vesna's tent. Vesna and Echo's tent. I don't think we have anything specific. Could I do your hair?
Absolutely.
I think she would have liked that.
It hasn't been on in a long time. I'm sorry if it's a little gross. But yes, you're more than welcome. I'd be honored.
Right. Well, I'll gather my things. I'll see you at your parents'.
Perfect.
And it's not too much longer. The 7 of you, 2 parents, then Vesna and Echo both show up. You see, unless we want to roleplay, it's up to you guys. Totally up to you guys how much you want to get into this. Otherwise, I will continue to fast track until you bring up something. How about that? You see Vesna and Echo both kind of working Rox's hair. It's a ceremonial thing. This anointing of a wayfinder is a very ritualistic thing. It's like every year they're searching for a new wayfinder. Sometimes they acquire one, sometimes they do not. But there's a solemn quietness to it. You pick up that even though Rox, her parents are incredibly proud of her, they're looking for anything to give them hope these days. Rox's father, Den, pulls out what can only be described as a ceremonial cloak of sorts. He prepared it just in case Rox had won the work you. And she did. Ilray kind of works on bracelets, beads, bit of thatch. And just down the street, or down the road, not really a street per se, not really a road either, just down the dirt path, whatever. You see them kind of setting up a very simple stage of sorts, you know, just a couple steps and some wood. It's nothing crazy. But you can see torches being lit, kind of placed, standing around the edge. It's run back through with the 5 of you now accompanying Rox. She's been thinking about this for a large part of her life. But the general procedure is fairly simple. You emerge from the SB tent, make your way down the walkway. Down the walkway. Got you, Zach. Can't beat me. And stand as you are anointed by the Moors SP and given a charge to go out and wayfind for the Enfyx Kith, to seek out a new truth. Is there anything any of you would like to do before the ceremony?
If there's enough time, can I work on a couple potions?
You may. Are you creating? Somebody's gonna blast me in chat for this because I'm gonna get it wrong. Are you working on a potion or a tincture?
I still have the 2 tinctures brewing that'll finish tomorrow morning.
Right.
So I'll just do two more potions.
Okay. The way I choose to flavor it, and I'm probably gonna get blasted at some point. Potions are more of an active brewing process, whereas tinctures are more of set and forget, but they take longer. They do gain potency for that effect, but they generally are not an active brewing process.
Like a fermenting kind of deal.
In a manner of speaking. I don't want to get into the actual specifics of it because it's not going to matter. I'll have to look it up one day and then I'll find out I've done it all wrong. So who cares, right? Anyway, working on just 2 base healing potions.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to make thicker ones, do I?
That'd be something I'd have to check with you outside of game to see if we ever got that far.
I don't think we did. Yeah, I'll just do two additional base healing potions.
Okay. Working on those, you kind of gather between the ceremony if you stop then and kind of pick it up. Depending on if you stay the night or if you travel, you're not far off.
That's how much gold worth of herbs?
For 2, it would be 50 gold pieces because the herbs are half price. Correct?
Yes.
When you buy enough for a 50 gold piece potion, you buy 25 gold pieces worth of herbs.
Yes, correct. Okay.
So it would be 50 total gold pieces worth of herbs for you to craft 2.
Okay. I'll have to hand these out at some point. I got a fuckload now.
You might want to do that. You want to do that now?
Yeah. Who? Rox is gone. I'll give her the tinctures because they buff a little higher. Yeah, I'll just give each of the 4 of you a potion. Everyone take a healing potion.
Okay. May I'll add in your equipment potion of healing. And now I have to patiently wait for Liz to be back. This is gonna get awkward. I'm just gonna stare at the camera. Oh, she's back. Okay, well, that wasn't very long. That's good. So, unless anyone else has anything else before the ceremony, we'll knock it out and move on with our lives, shall we?
Yee.
Okie doke. Rox, you now stand in the SB tent, your 5 friends situated along the walkway, kind of taking their place at the bottom of the stage, per se. You can see, just peeking through the tent, the central walkway, no more than 15 paces. And you can see now the hope that it gives people, the excitement. They've set out drums. Everyone's brought out their instruments. They know the tune. It's a standard process for them. But you can see, most of you as well, stationed as you are, there's a real unifying hope. A unifying feeling. As Den and Ilre are with you, your mother and father. Kind of just standing behind you. Go on, Rox. We're so proud.
I wouldn't be here without you.
Okay. As you kind of turn and begin to progress down the walkway, you can hear the drums, musical flutes, everyone else picking up. As you essentially stride, straight, clean, and spread before you are June in the center, Osa to the left, and Finn off to the right, the 3 remaining members of the Moors Espy. Your ceremonial headdress and everything else is beyond beautiful. And you all watch as Rox, kind of a little solemn, but perhaps a little happier than she's ever seen. You progress and take your station alongside June, who kind of speaks up. It is on this day that we anoint Rox as a Moor's Wayfinder. Rox, you are to be charged with rooting out this enemy from the Strath, figuring out what it is they wanted from us, and taking vengeance if you can find it. And you can hear a smattering of cheering amongst the crowd as well. You can see everyone's kind of rallied behind the idea that the Enfyx Kith are not to be pushed around so easily. You do have a moment to say anything if you'd like, Rox.
Beach.
Was not expecting that. So can I address everyone?
You may address whoever you like. You're a Moor Wayfinder now.
I would turn around to kind of the crowd of people, and just kind of like hold up my axe and yell, "For Enfyx Kith, for Vabi."
Everyone else kind of cheers out for Vabi in the distance.
Fabi.
And you
And
watch
turn
as the torches are burning brightly, the 3 members of the Enfyx Kith just come up and give you a bow. There are several things put out for you to receive, as is per the work queue. Admittedly, most of it's simple. There are some fine javelins there. Some other equipment. Most of it, truthfully, what you found out there, especially your great axe. Not of particular use to you. But you may add, if you like, 7 + 1 javelins.
Ooh. I will. I do like. Thank you.
Most of the other things you take out of respect.
Yeah.
If you would prefer to have anything else that you can dream of as a barbarian, let me know. That's just what I came up with off the cuff. But there's all sorts of, small snacks and other bits of food put out for you and your friends. It's a very straightforward, like, here, you're going off on your journey kind of thing.
Yeah. Sound off.
But now, having completed the anointment, you are a wayfinder for your people. So, the question now lies with the 6 of you. Where will you go and what will you do?
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
I think it's time to go find that wall.
To the wall.
The wall.
The window.
Are we staying the night, one night, or are we
Sure.
leaving immediately?
Yeah. Yeah, might as well rest. Party it up and rest. And
Okay. You all find a very ecstatic Den and Yore. Having made a fairly sizable meal, Drusk, it's just barely enough for you. Let's be honest with ourselves here. It's
I was gonna say I get the meat sweats, but
you're thinking about asking for seconds, but there's like
you get
there's
one
like
meat
kinda,
sweat.
It's kind of maybe not enough, for, to ask for seconds, right?
I didn't think lizards could sweat.
Who knows? You find a quiet, peaceful night for each of you. Drusk.
nope.
As sleep finds you, you have a peculiar dream. But it feels familiar. It's a memory you haven't thought of for a long, long time. You're sitting in a swamp, surrounded by other figures similar to you. Tall above and to the left is a cathedral, a massive building. The glow coming from it, the only light that really is needed for you to see everything around you. The moonlight even doesn't eclipse the light that this building on the side of this cliff is outputting on over the top of all of you. But as you look around to all of your companions, friends sitting around you, all their faces are a blur. Featureless. You're certain these are others of your kind. And you did this long ago. This was your daily existence. There's a fear that wells up in the core of you. You've forgotten their faces. Can you even remember their names? Do you remember who you were before you started wandering? Before that wind guided you to the top of that mountain when you met rocks? You kind of jostle yourself awake. You are in the tent. Standing over, you're in Rox's family tent. But your mind is still grasping firmly. Trying to remember what you're afraid you've forgotten. Draco. A dream comes to you. It's a swirling, almost purple void, just at the edges of your vision. You can see clearly in front of you, darkness. As it lights ever so slightly, you make out a figure, form. The tall, long hair framing the shoulders. You saw this form once before. When you signed that contract and you got that robe. gave it all up just then. What little you had left. But as you try to look directly at this form, you can only see the silhouette. As you try to shift your vision to look directly at it, you can't match it. You can't meet it. You find yourself drawn to look away. And you hear a voice. You've followed exactly everything that we need. And we, as you watch as the figure extends its hand, and you see these 3 forms you can look at. When I say we, I mean we. I heard just as well as you what everyone's talking about. The ability to do things like that. We need that. As he kind of outstretches his hand, you can see the soft light light up the figures of your mother, your father, your sister. This is what you've been searching for, Draku. This is what you need. A lot of players in this game. Wouldn't you agree?
Wait, can I respond?
You find yourself able to speak.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do see a lot at play here.
It's not just the play, it's the hand. You're always a good gambler, Draku, but this time you've got to skiff the cards. You need to make sure it tips in your favor. If you don't win, I don't win. And if I don't win, they, as he kind of closes his fist, and the 3 silhouettes fade. You can't have at all. As you now find that you're able to move your eyes where the figure is in an instant, it's gone. And you awake in a sweat. Gardak. No, I'm kidding. The rest of you awake in the morning.
I sleep like a baby.
As you wake, you can feel the cold kind of seeping in from the northern side of the tent. As this low fog, a fog that you're all familiar with at this point, the morning fog that always runs off of the Venbor Range, begins to take in the Enfyx Kith encampment around you. As many of you gather your things, sort out your packs, rocks, say your goodbyes. You all steel yourselves for the journey ahead. Rox, you kind of travel a good quarter mile to the east. Get a lay of where you are and where you need to go. If you're going to get to the Nakana Strath, it's right... Make a survival check. 1 sec. Well, go ahead and make the check. Let me look at it.
21.
You're going to make it back to the Nakana Strath. You need to go exactly... As you're looking between the mountains, you can see the edge of the one that looks familiar. The one at the edge of the Strath. You need to go right there. As you're kind of taking in the mountainside, you see, as opposed to what many would see, where they just see a mountain range, you see a path. You see a way through. You've got a fairly high level of confidence you could guide your friends. But you just wanted to go out real quick. Check. Make sure. The rest of you, wizards, feeling free to change your spells once more. Everyone make sure they've marked off a long rest. Drusk, you get your pass without trace back. If any of you have any character sheet questions, now is a good time. Otherwise, you gather your things, and following Rox's direction, set out for the Nakana Stroth. A return for some of you, but the shaded goal that now makes itself clear for all of you. And that is where we're going to take our break.
Can't wait to save Humpty Dumpty from this wall.
money and replace them with dirt cheap military.
Yep. Oh, we can cut corners? Hell yeah. All right. Getting back into it. Y'all have gathered everything you need. You stand at the base of the Venbor range. Rox briefs you only a mountain or two in between here and the Stroff, to be honest. She thinks she's picked out a good route. There's a cat on the stream. Cat alert.
She's annoyed.
Oh, okay.
Just a little
Mud
bit.
cat.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a cat if it wasn't annoyed, right? So, the 7 of you ascend the mountain, I presume.
Yep.
Okay.
Are we
Time-
going regular pace or are we going sneaky pace?
I say we go regular pace.
It's just
Kind of hard to
send
sneak
it.
up a mountain.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be a rough terrain, is it not?
That depends.
It will be.
don't,
I feel
don't.
like I would know. Is there need to sneak?
Why would we try to sneak up on a wall?
Oh my god.
Very well.
We don't want Humpty
Yeah,
Dumpty to
yeah,
get
I
scared
would-
and fall.
That's
I
it.
would know if there's something to be sneaky around, right?
Maslin dies first. Now, hold on. I should have prepped this while we were on break. Good DM, swear. Okay, I have no idea
My
what it is.
next character is going to be Pink Panther, so I can actually be stealthy for once in my life.
That music's copyrighted, ma'am. Can't play
Yeah,
it
dog,
for you
you've
when you
never
see-
played a stealthy character, have you?
Nope.
Wow.
Literally never.
Your question, Rox. It is getting late into... Actually, the month of Sulim has ended, which is the eighth month in the year. Winter started to break out back when you were in the Azure Grove. So you are in full swing into Geel, which is getting close to proper winter. You can imagine in the mountains, it's going to be deep snow. Not like it has a whole lot of time to melt.
We have snow boots.
Yeah, I think we need to get prepared so we
Good
don't end
job.
up dying on the side of this mountain.
Did you make snow boots?
No, but it sounds like we might have to go to that other town, to the crossing that you mentioned.
No, because I think we're just going straight up into the mountains.
Not if we don't have winter clothing.
Well, we're already kind of near the
Ah.
mountains. So we can't go like down, around, and back. Like that's
You wanna
Sure.
risk
Look,
it.
there's lots of leathers and furs. We could throw some stuff together, right?
You are able
Where's
to
my
find.
dad?
You
Let
are
me
able
get
to.
my dad.
You're able to find warm clothing within the Enfyx Kith. They have plenty of pelts and other furs.
Can
Zesserin,
we
you're
just, like, hunt
Zesserin,
animals or something?
you're already well dressed for cold weather, Zesserin.
Oh, cool.
Coming from Arcanhelm as you do.
Oh, so this is all on you guys. I'm over here chilling.
Gardak, likewise, not affected by the cold. All the way from the Kirsini range. The most of you are okay. It's not like the weather is going to be battering. It does not appear that there's any snowstorm on the horizon.
Misleading. It's going to be a really big storm when we get up there.
Depends. Do you think that Warlock's back again? The one that got
Who
away?
knows? He might be.
So, not stealthily ascending the mountain.
Correct.
As you begin to ascend, following Rox's guidance, Rox, you notice one of the rock. God damn it. Hate the way your name cascades with terrain when I'm trying to describe it. You notice in one of the rock sides, one of the cliff sides in the mountain here, a carved, almost S shape. It's very jagged. You recognize this to be the marking of the Enfyx Kith. As the SP as the SP described, it's pretty likely that this is Jazz and his hunting party marking their way that they have followed inward. Marking their way. Following through.
Keep an eye out for more of them.
Following through, the winds do pick up, slightly so, as you are climbing into the mountains here. And as a lot of you continue to ascend, there's a light snowfall. There are moments... It's Draco over there shaking his head because he's like, he duped me. There are moments when the path narrows and you kind of have to take your time, be careful. Most of you aren't used to just straight up mountain trekking, but between Rox's guidance and following a general path that seems not particularly well traveled, but there is a certain ways you kind of take a step back as you enter each of these new opening areas. You can see Rox kind of finding a path through them, and you realize, yep, good thing I'm following her because she's cutting straight through these mountains. She knows them well, as does the rest of her tribe. You see similar markings here and there, different shapes, all denoting different things to Rox. But by and large, you are simply following the path. As you begin to crest near the top, one of the mountains, you get a pretty good vista. Looking back from whence you came, you can see in the distance the rolling green hills as the fog descends southeast into the Breszi Empire. And most of you, for the first time, getting a peek at what appears to be the Strassi dynasty. From here, a little more than a brown haze you can make out. But you get the sense that on the other side of these mountains, as most of you have heard, the Strassi dynasty can be somewhat inhospitable. There is a certain toughness to life there that has persisted nonetheless. Descending down this mountain into the side, Rox, you see now before you what can only be said as two general paths. One leading you more westward, taking you potentially to the Distu. The other leading more eastward, taking you straight to the Nakana Strath.
Any markings?
As for Jazz's markings, you haven't seen one for a moment. You get the sense he probably didn't piddle-paddle around, knowing Jazz and how direct he normally is.
Yeah, that was my thought too. I'll kind of explain it to the group and why I think we should take the east one that cuts straight to it.
What's your judgment?
We're gonna die on this mountain.
We could go around, I mean...
No, we're already here. Let's keep going.
Alrighty.
I trust
All
in
right, guys,
us.
I'm gonna start casting ritual tiny hut. I'll catch up with you later.
Okay. You watch as Maslin sits down in the snow.
Oh,
and
I'm
begin...
joking.
I'm gonna start taking you at face value. You say you cast Fireball, it gets cast. You just gotta tell me where, because now it's already been cast. Okay. Taking the right path, as it were, to continue the trek east. You come upon, or you end up seeing before you, another mountain that kind of... It's interesting, as you look as what Rox was describing, where the Distu are, you can see one mountain that seems as though it was cut with a scythe. Two sheer cliff faces in the middle of this mountain. The entire center has been cut out, like a blade passing through the terrain. Clean rock wall face. And here rests before you another mountain that seems as though a plateau of sorts exists on the top. As you trudge and ascend, it gets rather steep at one particular point. I'd like everyone to make athletics checks. As you are basically, at this point, the quickest way is to climb directly up the side. It's not a straight 90 degree incline. But it's still hand over ankle scrabbling.
So you went watery. Who needs an athletics check?
Everyone?
Okay, sorry.
If only I could figure
Does
out why I'm going
my-
watery.
Go again.
Does my new 6th level feature that means moving through non-magical difficult terrain cost me no extra movement help?
You're what now?
Moving through non-magical difficult terrain costs you no extra movement.
It doesn't augment your climbing capability. So I would say no.
That's valid. Athletics.
I got a good old 5.
I got an 11.
Sloppy 20.
13.
Like that for 22. Let's
And
go.
14.
Okay. Man, all you need to do is throw some athletics checks at you and the wizards start dying. It's great. As you're all beginning to make this trek, you glance behind you and Zesserin is clearly on the struggle bus. No two ways around it. You see him kind of locked, their hands gripping on stone, and his feet almost, you can see start to slip a little bit. He kind of recenters and steadies himself. Zesserin currently lagging behind the rest of you.
Great.
As you
How
continue,
tall is it?
this incline that you're climbing, 40 feet.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing too crazy, but given the winds and the incline of the stone here, it's just enough to reach the top of the plateau. As you all scrabble up the top of the plateau, you see Zesserin lagging about 15-20 feet behind the general pace of the rest of you. I'd like everyone to make perception checks. As you're now on a plateau that kind of ascends or has a slight, about 10-degree incline.
12.
11.
9.
Faster
17.
20.
19.
Maslin, what was yours?
17.
Okay. Maslin, Gardak, Drusk. As you kind of turn around to help Zesserin up, the lot of you, or the three of you, make out a figure in a cloak, hood up and over. And right as you guys had crested the mountain because of your guys' good perception checks, you're not certain where it was coming from, but you see two streaks, these thin beams of light, into the snow. But I don't know, let's say 60 feet in front of this creature, or this robed figure. These streaks of light that just kind of embed themselves in the snow. There's no splash of snow dust, no response per se from these embedded lights, but you do catch just. It's almost like if you blinked, you would have missed it. This robed figure stands before you.
How far away?
From you guys, I would say about 90 feet.
And it looks familiar, I assume?
Make another perception check. Now that all of you have a moment to
Wow.
take this in. You're entirely uncertain.
Yep.
The robed creature calls out in Draconic. Oh, Jishan, I believe you speak Draconic, right, Drusk?
Yep.
Does anyone else speak
I
Draconic?
did. Hold on.
Languages and
No.
senses, bottom left. Actually, I can just look for you.
I don't. Oh, nope.
I know I don't.
Never mind.
Only person that speaks Draconic is Drusk. Drusk, you understand this to say, what is your purpose on this mountain?
We're trying to get to my friend's village. Just passing through, you know.
You watch as this figure kind of raises its head enough, and as the wind kind of rustles the hood, you can see a distorted face with very sharp teeth, lidless lips. Just truly almost a scaly form, these thick brows that kind of come out, very pronounced bone structure of both the chin and the top of the eyes.
Friend here's rocks.
I don't recognize them.
As it calls out again in Draconic, Drusk, you know this to be, turn now. or suffer.
I don't
Yes.
know.
Yeah, so he wants us to turn around. I don't think that's
I'll
gonna
just
happen, right, guys?
I guess not.
I mean, do you want to go back down the cliff and around?
no.
Nope.
No.
Cool.
Tell him no.
Say no thanks. You know, we'll see how far we can get with manners.
Maybe next time.
I'll call back to the figure in Draconic.
Tell
Uh,
him to turn around.
Yeah, no. I appreciate the offer, but we're just gonna skirt around you if you don't mind. Just be a second, you know.
And I'll start trying to go like diagonally, like keeping a
Like
berth
shuffle
around
after
this
it.
figure.
As you do, you can see he kind of raises a hand, and you just see this. Doesn't have a description. Slick. You see this energy forming in its hand. I would like you all to roll initiative.
Rage!
Yeah, I know it.
Well, yeah. Of course, this guy ain't friendly.
Did I
Oh,
get that rage off before or no?
You may do it on your turn, ma'am.
Okay.
oops.
Okay. I need to remember how to run Dungeons & Dragons combat. Pretty fucking good. One sec, guys.
Fight hype.
You all are situated however you'd like to be in this general area. Drusk, you said you moved to the left, a little bit diagonal. So we'll put you there, shall we? Seem fair?
Sure.
Okay. And you see this lone figure. Granted, this is about a... I didn't bother to put any actual elevation into it, but this is about a 10-degree grade from you to this creature. 25 to
Okay.
20.
Oh no.
15 to 20.
19.
15.
What did I say? 10 to 15?
And
Supposing everybody can see okay.
Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, you know how it is. I'll mess with it later. If you need to see something closer, let me know. Or I'll just describe it to you. 5 to 10?
6.
7.
Okay, we just had 3 responses all in one. I know Zestrin, you got a 6?
Yep. Big old 6.
Rox?
I got
5.
I got the 7.
Okay. Maslin, Zestrin. Sorry, you got a 7, Maslin?
Yep.
Okay. What is your dex score? Well, it's higher than theirs. 6.
Plus 4.
Am I correct that Zestrin had a 6 and Rox had a 5? Sorry, guys.
Yes, you got.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you got it.
Perfect. Up front is the robed form, who is going
one
to...
fear.
Is that 90 feet away?
This robed figure is going to progress. Has a movement speed of... Moves 35 feet and seems to, well, not really successfully obtain really any cover to speak of. What did it do? One... Oh, Drusk. Just barely in range. Is going to go ahead and send 3 energy ray attacks at you.
Ah. Love that.
Okay, first one's a 10, so I'm supposing that misses.
Yep.
Second one's a 12.
Also miss.
Third one is a 21.
Also miss.
Really?
No.
I was about to say, it's like, I don't remember that Sentinel shield being that good. You suffer 11 points of force damage.
Ooh, yikes. Okay.
And that is his current turn, as that is all that he can do.
Okay.
That ends his go and brings us to you, Draku. Drusk, you're on deck.
What? I hate that I rolled so high.
If you'd like to defer your initiative, you per se
it's
can.
okay. I'm
Trade.
okay with it.
We're not
I was
Yu-Gi-Oh!
trying to
Initiative,
decide
ma'am.
what I really wanted to do. Sure. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna attempt to. Let's see. Let's guess I'm just gonna get behind that rock that's directly in front of me, kind of on the left side, and I'm gonna leave Carl in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want him. Like, he's too expensive. Yeah, I'm gonna summon Shadow Blade,
Okay.
and I guess I'm gonna throw it at him.
Yeah, hold on. Shadowblade requires darkness for advantage, right?
Yeah, for advantage. Yeah, for
Is
advantage,
it dark or
yeah.
dim, or is it full darkness?
Dim, or darkness. I mean, I was gonna take it at disadvantage, but it's your call.
Nah, there's a 50% chance that it's dim enough for Shadowblade. And it is. Congratulations.
Okay,
Take advantage.
cool.
Between the snow and the plateau, which is overshadowed by the Venbor range, it's dim enough, we'll say.
So I can't remember. I could just get a regular throw, or is it at advantage?
I believe your attacks with Shadowblade are at advantage. Let me go look at your character sheet.
No, hold on, I'm reading through it right now.
I will admit I've not gone through your guys' character sheet to look at how combat works for each of you.
Yep, I get to make the attack roll with advantage. Okay. Oh, well, the first one was a natural 20, so I'm just going to go with that.
Okay. You're throwing
Yeah,
it
then
at
I
our
roll-
lone guy? Okay.
Yeah, and then roll for damage.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Double the dice?
Double the dice, not the amount of dice that you roll. I think that's how we
Okay.
did it in the past.
So just double the total.
Whatever you get on the dice, double it.
Yep. 34.
Holy smokes. Is that with your modifier added on?
It's just 3d8.
You said 34?
Yeah, I rolled 17.
Nice. Okay, solid. That's your bonus action to cast Shadowblade? Yes, it is.
And then an action to throw it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I'm done.
Okay. Roger that. Drusk, that puts you up. Dardak, you're on deck.
Go. I'll step back into my right about 10 feet diagonally, and then I will...
Got it, one more.
That's fine. As an action, I will cast Aura of Vitality.
Okie dokie.
And then I will use... So I'm concentrating, and then as a bonus action, I will use its ability to heal myself 2d6
Okay.
for 4.
Solid.
Dope.
No, that's so sad. It's okay, it stays up. You're concentrating. Okay, that ends your go.
Yep.
Dardak Tolokavi.
All right.
I will
How
say,
about, like-
you did see the 2 streaks of light drive into the snow.
Where did we see that? Like in front of the guy. I guess.
I would say...
I think that was a friendly reminder.
I would say where Draco is, you know, you were climbing, you were recovering from the climb. Where Draco is, maybe another 10 feet. 20 feet
Okay.
tops. That's just a rough guesstimate for you.
Okay. I guess I want to move up like out 10 or 15 feet to get behind that rock for cover against the dude.
Okay.
I'm gonna ignore, I guess, the 2 shoots of light right now, and I guess equip my crossbow and take a shot at the dude.
Go for it. You get 2 shots, as a matter of fact.
I do. Okay, first one. Phew, that's a 1. Whiff.
Ma'am.
Okay,
Back at it again.
back at it.
Truly unforgivable.
I don't do it on purpose.
Second
Okay,
shot.
second one. Is also 1. I'm gonna luck that. Sorry. Okay, that's probably still not gonna hit, but that is a 19.
19 does hit.
Oh, okay.
What you think his AC was 26?
I don't know.
I'm not that evil. I'm pretty evil. I ain't that evil though.
It's big 3 points of damage. Piercing damage.
Do I gotta say it? Damage is damage. Okay. That's 20 feet of your movement. Both of your attack actions. Would you like to bonus action swap back to your sword and shield or staff, whichever one you choose to go with?
Yeah, I'll switch to my staff, but I want to do. Hang on. Is it in staff style? I have to have in staff style for protection.
You get protection in both.
Okay.
This is one thing I should have gone back through to make sure I understood how it worked. Sorry. In staff style, you maintain your +2 to AC as if you had a shield.
Okay.
However, your protection is... Hold on. So it confers the +2 to AC. If you have the protection fighting style, you can use your reaction to protect as per normal. However, you have a 10-foot range of protection as opposed to the standard 5 feet.
And that's
then-
in staff style?
Mm-hmm. And then upon protecting an ally, you can choose to either move 5 feet closer or 5 feet further from your ally. Or remain as you are. So it lets you get a little bit of movement and repositioning out of it too.
Okay, I'll switch to staff style. Currently.
Okay. There you go. Make sure you keep track of your AC when you're not in staff style because it'll change on your character sheet, but you technically have the staff equipped at all times. Okay. That ends your go and brings us to the enemies, the other enemies, the ones that were embedded. You see as these streaks of light from the snow emerges at first a fin, white as the snow. See 2 almost dragon-like forms emerge. They're wingless dragons, but you can see the scales and the long teeth. You're not sure what to make of these creatures, but they basically have these fins on the edge of their arms and this fin that runs down the center of their back. So they emerge, which is their... We'll call that their movement. Yep. We'll call that their movement. So they currently cannot do anything, but they have emerged. As they are. They are both going to... Well, actually, I don't have to tell you, do I? Okay. That ends their go. And brings us to Maslin. Cesar, you're on deck.
Alright, well, I was gonna just hit the main Draconic bad boy in the back with a level 2 magic missile and see how he reacts to actually being hurt, I guess.
Well, he got really fucked up by Draku's thing, but yes.
Yeah, well. The whopping 5 points of damage.
I feel like that kid in that CS:GO lobby, as soon as, or the Call of Duty lobby, as soon as he starts, he just chucks his knife across the map.
Yeah.
He gets a kill.
You said 5 damage on a level 2 magic missile?
Yeah, I rolled a 1 and a 2.
Level 2 magic missile has 3 projectiles, does it not? Or does it have... I don't even know. Hold on.
No, it's just 2.
It's 4.
You have 4
It's 4.
projectiles. Yeah.
Alright.
It's 4d4 plus 4 is what your magic missile is.
Oh.
Since you're
I
casting it at
misunderstood
second.
that,
Yep.
then. All right, well, then.
Why don't you just re-roll
Oh,
the whole
sick.
thing?
Well, but I just need to reroll 2 more, and yeah, that's sick because this one's now 10 points of damage because of 2 4s.
Okay. There you go. As far as his reaction to taking damage, he's taking damage. No doubt about that.
Ouchie.
Would you like to move?
Honestly, I'm gonna take like a shot just straight west from where the camera has me kind of sitting, and I'd say my full movement speed, probably, of 30.
That west? Yeah, that's west. I was trying to think of camera orientation. Technically, there's a compass rose over here. You just can't see it. Anyway, okay. That ends your go. Zesserin, you're up. Rox, ma'am, you are on deck. Are you muted, Ian, or you just haven't said anything yet?
Shit. Nope. I was muted this whole time. I'm gonna move a few steps over to my character's right.
15 feet?
And then that little like bad thing there that I'm like, I guess I may try to hit that.
Okay. What are you going in with?
I think I'm gonna do a firebolt.
Okie dokie. See if it has it here. Nope.
Uh, 10.
10 unfortunately does not hit.
Okay. Well-
You have a change to your cantrip as part of your 6th level, do you not? Let me read this real quick. See if I can salvage this for you. Hold on.
Cantrip.
Yeah, you have a thing now as part of your 6th level feature. Let me go. Hold on. Potent cantrip. When a creature succeeds on a saving throw against your cantrip. So never mind. It would take half the cantrip's damage but wouldn't suffer any effects from it. It's potent cantrip. It's your 6th level thing. But they need to make a saving throw for that to go through, which they do not for Firebolt. You were just trying to hit. So as you kind of send this Firebolt, it goes wide and strikes the rock in between the both of them. That ends your go. Rox,
Rage.
you are raging.
Yay. He's right in front of me, right?
Well, there's 2 of them. There's 2
Oh,
of the
good,
dragon-like creatures that are there.
Okay, right in the middle of them.
Movement speed still 30. Don't you have the boots of the... Can't remember what boots you have.
It's boots of the Longstrider, but it's 40 by default. 50 if she activates the boots.
You can, per se, get next to that one, and you're kind of next to the other one?
I thought the leader was right in front of me.
No, the leader's all the way back here.
Oh, got it.
But
Okay.
he's got 2 of these draconic, white-scaled dragon-ish
Yeah.
things. You've never really seen a dragon, but this one lacks wings. Doesn't really seem to be a... It actually looks a little warped. Not natural, in a way.
Well, let's put it out of its misery. I'm going in with my blood axe
Go for
for
it.
the first time. 22.
That'll hit.
Oh, yikes. 7 plus 2, 6, 7. Sorry, brain. 13.
13, unfortunately, just misses.
No, 13 was damage for
Oh,
the first one.
gotcha.
He's still
Excellent.
up.
Yeah.
I will go again. 27.
27 will hit. Look.
Yikes, I'm rolling terrible damage. 12 damage on that one.
Okay. Your 2 strikes. Your bonus action to rage. You are now, as you kind of go in with both of these strikes, you can see both of these white dragon-ish creatures turn their attention and snarl towards you. That ends your go, I trust.
Yep.
Brings us to Bad Boy in the ropes, who is going to... Oof. Yeah, seeing you do that, he's going to go in with 3 of these energy rays that he has. Against you at advantage because you...
I'm going to counterspell.
Wait, you didn't go reckless, did you?
I did not go reckless.
Okay. I will say...
counterspell it?
This is not a spell.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
This is an innate feature of the creature.
Got it.
That's a nice rhyme. You might want to save your counterspell for later, to be honest.
I have multiple.
First one is a 10, so I'm imagining it misses.
It misses?
Yeah. Second one's a 24.
Yes, that hits.
And the third one is a 20...
Yes.
6. It's
Yeah.
too higher. Why was that math so hard? You suffer... 5. Double 5s. 16 points of force damage, so 8
Okie doke.
to you. Because wherever I am. Pain. Okay, that ends his go. Brings us to Draku. Drusk, you're on deck.
Okay. Well. Let's see. Let me count real quick.
You're within hex range if that's what your curiosity is.
No.
You still have Shadow Blade.
No. I'm gonna hold on to that for now. Yeah, so I'm gonna resummon my blade, and I'm going to throw it at, I guess, the closest little dragon thing.
Okay. We'll say it's the one with the lighter scales.
I'm guessing that's about 30 feet.
Less, but yeah.
Oh, because my range is 20-60 on my sword, so...
It's 25 feet, so you'd have to move 5 feet up.
Sure.
There you go. Now you're not doing a straight roll, you're rolling at advantage. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
There you go.
Jesus. I always forget what do I add to this? My spell attack to my roll.
Yeah, your spell attack modifier is at the top of your spells area.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So yeah, that would have been a 14 to hit.
That does hit.
Oh, okay. Wow. 17.
Nice. Considerable damage you're putting down so far, brother.
Yeah, last round it was 2 7s, and this time it was an 8 and a 7.
Yep. Okay.
Hey, DM.
Yes,
Can I
ma'am.
ask a question real quick?
Sure.
It's my fault because I forgot it, but I did not roll the necrotic damage. Are they constructs or undead? We can skip it this time. I just need to...
They are neither.
Should I roll that, or...
Oh, it would it affects anything that's not constructs and undead. Go ahead and roll it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
We get concessions as we're getting back into D&D here. I'll put down the hammer
That's
here in a
2
couple
5s.
sessions. 2 5s, so 10 extra damage
Yeah.
on the one you read.
Yeah.
Nice. Glad I buffed these creatures' health.
Damn.
That ends there. Your turn, Draku. Drusk, you're up. Gardak on deck.
All right.
Can I go forward 10 feet and diagonal right 1?
Sure. You may.
Please. If my math's... Sorry. If my math's right, I should be about 30 feet from everyone. So first of all, I will... I mean, at a quick glance, I wasn't...
Yeah. I think Zessarin's barely outside of it, but...
I can move if I need to get to him. I will bonus action Aura of Vitality heal rocks. For 10.
Thank you. I only need 8.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
It's a big ass heal.
It's 2d6 every round.
Every round?
Yep.
As long as I maintain concentration on it, anyone within 30
Wow.
feet of me, I can bonus action heal him for 2d6.
It's pretty good.
It's a new spell. It just came out, so... Or newer. And then I will action cast Ice Knife at the guy in the back.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit, is it? Yeah, and then he has to do
Yeah,
a dex
it's
save.
a to hit, and then regardless, he has to roll a dex save. That is a natural 20.
He saved on his dex.
Oh,
Unless your DC's 21.
No, it's 17. Oh! So he'll take 20 points of piercing damage as I roll a 0 or a 10,
Okay.
and then he'll take
Half of the 2d6, is it?
4. Because I
God
rolled a 3 or
damn.
5.
Y'all are putting down damage. Say that much. That ends your go, I
I'll
trust.
I'll stay right there.
Okay. That brings us to Gardek's turn. Creatures on deck after that, Maslin.
Okay. I guess I want to get as close as possible to the dragons. It also rocks.
This takes you 20.
Okay.
So if you wanted to go to the one, engage the one on the left or engage the one on the right, you got 5 feet either direction you want to go. Or your range with the polearm version of that weapon is 10, actually. So, yeah. If you keep it in staff style, you can still make your strikes.
Okay, I guess I'll attack the one on the left.
Okay.
Okay.
If you can roll.
Style. Oh my god, another fucking one! I wish I was kidding.
Roll virtual dice. I'm sick of this.
Fuck this, yeah.
yeah, I went to visit that one too.
Alright, second attack. This is 16.
16 does hit.
Okay. Is it the top or the bottom one? 1d6 or 1d8? Would it be the bottom one because I'm using both hands?
Mm-hmm. That's how
No,
that
okay.
math works.
Yeah, it's 1d8 when you're in the staff style.
Okay. Okay, 10 points. Yeah.
Nice.
I guess that's it. Yeah.
Okay, doke. That brings us to the Draconic creature's turn. Both of whom are going to close in around the two of you now sequestered here. One is going to make 2 strikes against you, Rox. The other is going to make 2 strikes against you, Garda.
Okay. Can I do protection for rocks?
You may, which makes it a straight roll because they have pack tactics. Rox, I believe it misses you with a frickin' 15.
Yep, misses.
Okay. One against... Oh, wait, hold on. They can go with 2 strikes here. Yes. It's going to take its second attack, not protected, so at advantage from pack tactics. I presume a 20 will hit you.
Yes.
Okay. He will take, as it kind of swings around with its tail... Oh, boy. Not much. 7 points of bludgeoning damage. Reduced to 4 for you, or 3. I don't remember if we round down or round up here, on here. We play 5 different campaigns, and we all round up and round down all over the
Yeah.
goddamn place. Just make a decision about how you want to handle it.
I rounded up.
Okay, that's cool. The second one is going to take its 2 strikes against you, Gardak, at advantage because of pack tactics. For a 22 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
Second strike. An 18 to hit.
No.
Ouch. Okay.
Damn, girl, what's your AC?
20.
Why is your AC 20?
With the staff.
The staff replaces the shield. You do not
Yeah,
have
I
both
don't
the
have
shield.
the shield activated.
You have the chain, which brings you to 16.
Uh-huh.
And you're replacing the shield with the staff in this instance.
Yeah.
You should be at 18, I think, right? Hold on, I'll
Yeah,
look
I
in a
guess you're
sec.
right. So it is 18, so I guess that does hit.
Yeah, that's so what I'm saying is if you're adjusting on the fly from your character sheet, your 18 is with your staff style. When you're split
Okay.
staff, when you're split style, it's 16. But you
16,
gain
okay.
more offensiveness. The +2 is automatically conferred from the staff in its staff style because it's a magic item that's equipped to you. Like if you go into your items
Yeah.
and you unequip the staff style, it'll bring you down to 16. But
Yeah,
I put
that's why I didn't realize what was happening because I had unequipped
no, I get you.
the
But I
shield.
put both of them in
Yeah.
your equipment so that you can see what both of them do, and
Okay.
that's why I'm telling you just keep track of it anyway. So the second one would have hit you, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
they both would have hit then.
The first strike you take 12 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
The second one is oh god, if I can find all the dice that I'm looking for. It's not like they're all out in front of me. 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
So as they kind of get in around the both of you, you're both just standing steadfast. Gardak even coming in to help deflect a shot. That ends their go and brings us to Maslin. Zesserin, you're on deck. Rocks after that.
The wingless dragon that is the closest to Maslin, I'm going to cad insinuation upon it. So
Okay.
it needs to make a wisdom saving throw of 15.
Okay, it rolls a 17 on the die, so its save is 17. Because it adds absolutely nothing. Does anything
How
happen?
unfortunate. No, nothing happens.
Okay.
And I think I'm going to proceed like... What's the distance between me and old lipless guy?
Like 70 feet or so.
Okay, then yeah, I want to move just 10 closer to him, and then that'll be it. I want to put myself within 60 feet of him.
Okay, I'll check later, but I think you're within 60. I get the intent anyway. Zesserin, you are up. Rocks on deck. You're muted, Ian.
Stuff. Okay. I want to move up 15 feet.
I'll presume closer to the center of all the action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yep, I'm waiting for it. Zach.
I'm gonna cast Scorching Ray on that like that would
Okay. You can direct through all three beams to different targets if you want, or you can just go all in on the one.
I'm going all in on the one.
Okay, make 3 spellcasting attacks.
All right. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. 12.
12 unfortunately misses. Second beam.
Your first roll was a 20, by the way, if you didn't see.
Oh. Oh, shit. Okay.
Do I need to look at the dice log all of a sudden? So
I didn't
20.
even notice I hit that.
So you got a natural 20 or just sloppy 20?
I got a natural 20 apparently to hit.
Okay.
I guess I pressed it and didn't notice I pressed it.
Let me go look.
It was a sloppy 20 for 6 damage, and then you rolled a 12.
Okay, you have one more ray to cast, so do another 2-hit on Scorching Ray.
Oh, that one's a 1. I know that's not gonna hit. That's a 9 total.
That's okay. You're sending out these 3 beams of fire as it's kind of locked in this engagement with rocks. This is the one that hit rocks. As it's kind of scooting forward and backward, you send these 3 out at him. Just quite barely don't make it. But one does land true and does a significant amount of damage to him. That ends your go, I trust.
Yep.
Rocks. Full health lady. You're muted, ma'am.
I said I'll do it again. How's the one that I've been hitting looking?
Not happy. Not good.
Sad, in fact.
This is the one that got critted right off the bat, so.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry, that was
I'll-
the big guy that got critted right off the bat.
I'll go reckless. Why not? Did not pay off. 19.
19 does hit.
Okie dokie. Yikes. plus 2, 12. And then the d6 is a 2. So 14 that time. Next one.
Give me a vicious axe, she said. It'll be fun, she said.
28.
That hits.
Yikes, 10 on that one. My dice don't like me today.
Okay. Got that down.
Alrighty. Yep.
That ends your go and brings us to the top. Brings us to Angry Boy, who is fucking sick and tired of this goddamn bullshit. Teethless Man is gonna... Let's see... Yep. I don't know why I'm trying to put a mini up there. Yeah. Handily. For the purpose of having the mini on the map, he's behind the rock, but he's technically perched as he kind of jumps up and grabs onto the side of the rock. And you watch as his toothy grin kind of splits and he just exhales. You can see these almost tendrils of poison as they strike a straight line through you. Yeah, you'd have to aim it. I need Rox, Gardek, Raku, and Drusk to make Constitution saving throws.
Make what?
Constitution saving throws.
Constitution.
16.
Is that an 18?
16.
Okay.
21.
Natural 1 for 5. You're muted, Dylan.
Non-natural 20.
Okay. I believe you're the only one who failed, Drusk. Because the DC was 14. Each of you takes 26 points of poison damage. Halved if you succeeded, so 13 to a lot of you.
Halved again for
7 for me.
rocks.
Halved again for rocks. You are now immune to this for the next 24 hours. If you succeeded, Drusk, you gain 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, yikes.
Doesn't really affect combat at that point. If he gets a second one, then it will. But you do need to make a Constitution save throw on your Aura Vitae.
It
Fell?
was a 9. It was a 9.
Dang. Okay, for record's sake, he is like in melee with you, Rocks.
Okay.
But I'm not putting his mini on top of the rock because he's just going to fall off. That will end his go handily, I imagine. And bring us to Draku. Drusk, you're on deck.
So, sorry, which rock did you say he was on top of?
He's technically on top of this rock in front of Rocks. He's pretty much in plain sight. He's within 20 feet of you.
No, I get it. I'm trying to, I don't know. I think I'm just going to save it. That could be hilarious, though. All right, yeah. So I'm just going to, I'll resummon my sword, and then I'm going to chuck it at him on top of that rock.
Okay, go for it. At advantage.
All right, I don't know, like 24.
Yeah, that'll hit. I presume you move up 5 feet to throw it and then move back. I'll give you that concession.
Yeah, I want to be covered so I don't get blasted. All right, 11.
Okay. Not looking great. That ends your go?
Yep, that is it.
Okay. Drusk, you are up. Gardek on deck.
How far is Mouthless Man from me?
30
He's
feet.
got a mouth. 30 feet?
30-ish. Could always do the good old 5-foot shuffle. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd love to run straight up at him. Get him on his perched little rock. As I run, I will cast Flame Blade at 2nd level. I'll take a swing.
There we go. We'll just take the rock out of it. Why didn't I think with fucking using portals? Go for it.
23.
23 will hit. Yeah, 23 will hit.
He'll take 16 points of fire damage.
Okay. Looking fucked up. That ends your go?
Yep.
Gardek, you got some dragons around you.
I do.
It's a target-rich environment.
Which one looks more hurt?
Of the two, the one that has the darker mini over here has taken significant damage and appears to be, some would say, on their last legs.
Okay, then I want to do both my attacks at it.
Roger that.
All right. First one is a 14.
That'll hit.
Okay.
That just hits, as a matter of fact.
So that's 9. Yeah.
Nice.
9 points. And the second one is 21
That'll hit.
for 12 points of damage.
That'll do it. Flare your finish,
Action
ma'am.
surge and take them both out.
Yeah, flare your finish, ma'am.
Oh, you know, just like spin around and like stab him in the head. Just
Oh, yep. As you kind of, as you sink it in, Rox, you're about to swing in with the great axe again, but as you kind of are turning to pivot to do so, you just see Gardak kind of, there's a sucking sound as he rips this staff with the blade on the end of it out of this creature's, basically the back of its skull, and it just, as the snow begins to turn crimson.
I'll just give Gardak a yeah.
thumbs up.
Okay.
I'll end my turn.
That brings us to the one that is left. You just slaughtered that one. Is going to make an attack. Yeah, you see is like there's this moment when everyone sees that one fall. This creature looks over at the lipless creature as the snarl and just turns his eyes towards Drusk. It's going to go ahead and make a strike at you, Drusk. Still at pack tactics because you're in melee with both of them. Drusk, that's a 22 to hit.
Yep.
Dookie damage. 6 points of damage. Goes in with its tail as well. Natural 20. Luckily, its tail is not the heavily damaging one. Well, it is when I roll a 6. 12 plus 3, 15 points of damage. But that is handily
Cool.
its go.
Yep, Flame Blade's still up.
And brings us to... Nice. Brings us to Maslin. Zestrin, you're on deck. Rocks after that.
Well, I'm gonna cast 3rd level Chromatic Orb against Lipless Boy. That's the direction this is going.
Oh boy.
Oh hell yeah. That's a fucking wait. It is a 26 to hit.
Oh. That'll hit.
Thank God. I'm gonna do fire damage for the record.
Okay. What am I gonna do about this man?
You haven't
31
taken any
damage.
hits.
Make him a coffin.
Yeah, evidently. Did you say 31?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
On 3d8 plus...
It's 5d8.
5d8 at 3rd level.
Oh shit, you cast it at 3rd. Fuck.
Yeah.
How much damage did you say? 30 what? 31?
31.
Man.
Uh-huh. He's holding on. But that is, that's not looking good for him. Zestrin, you're up, unless Maslin, you'd like to do anything else.
Nope.
Yeah, as you kind of pull out this crystal and you force light through it, it becomes this gout of fire that strikes him directly on the chest, even singeing the rock that he's kind of perched on. He's fucked. Zestrin, you're up, sir. You're muted, Ian. For the millionth time. I love this man.
Oh boy, y'all are kind of clustered in there.
You're an evocation wizard. This shouldn't be a problem for you.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Oh yeah, I do have that one move that I can like kind of like
Sculpt spell. I don't know how many. I don't know how many you can do it to, but I'd have to look.
Where was it?
One plus the spell's level.
Yeah,
So
okay.
fireball would be 4.
Okay. Well, good. All right, so
Well,
I'm
good.
gonna cast Fireball on a.
Yep.
Who's the closest guy to me that's an enemy? Because I.
Zassarin,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. You can slam it on both of them and evade your allies with Sculpt spell.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that then. So I'm gonna use Fireball with Sculpt Spell. That's
I almost said
Dex
the creature's
16.
name. The dragon-looking thing rolls a 13. The bad guy, it's cocked, even though I would take that 17. Okay, it's a 19 plus things. You said your DC was 16?
Yep.
Creature fails. Humanoid boy succeeds. Go ahead and roll your damage.
All right. 30. 30 damage.
Let me look at this real quick. Okay. Luckily. Well, this is awkward. As you send this fireball into the group, the 15's enough. The guy on the rock gets incinerated, leaving just this one creature that seemingly was spawned from him. Okay. That ends your go, and Rux.
Yep.
Hi there. How you doing?
Whack.
Question is, can you do enough damage?
Reckless. 21.
That'll hit.
Oopsie, where'd she go? There she is. Ooh, better. 19 on that one, damage. Second attack. Ooh, 26. Finally, there we go.
Oh.
21. 27.
Okay. As you go in with the second strike, you realize it's already gone. The creature on the rock incinerated as you swing in rage. Flair your finish, ma'am. I need to buff my creatures more.
I went straight down through the face, just like visceral, carved in half.
Oh. As you kind of pivot from Gardak pulling the staff out of its skull, you instead say, "Fuck that, I'm drilling to it," and just straight down the center, kind of split it. As the snow is a mixture of melting crimson madness. As you guys handle that handily, some would say. Okay. For the moment, it seems combat is abated. No threats abound.
Can we take a nap, please?
But the music's still going.
Yeah, because curse my belt body, I'm not fast enough.
Can I, like, give Drusk a piggyback ride while he rests? And we keep going?
No.
No?
I'll put a first level cure wounds in myself because we're not looking hot, Chief.
Yeah, we should probably rest.
If only I could get a finishing kill. I get free health.
12.
Or you did like 37 damage
Oh.
off the bat. I don't want to hear it.
Actually,
Should have never given you
Yeah.
that straight roll.
if I brought it to 0, I get 10 HP, right?
From the Blood Axe, I'd have to look, but I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yay.
Just know that I love my players, guys. Gonna have to tip the scales a little bit more favor in the enemies, but love my players. Okay. You guys are not but perhaps another descent and ascent. A softer one, and then you'll be at the edge, the ridge of the Nakana Strath. Are we stopping to accomplish a short rest? Or are we pressing?
We probably should.
Drusk, I will let you retcon the cure wounds if you are stopping to take a short rest. Otherwise, feel free to do whatever spells or whatever else you need to heal up.
Nah, I'll keep it. I probably need it.
Okay. Pressing onward. Any other things we need to wrap up real quick? As you
Did we
all
get the short
begin.
rest?
That's up
Yeah,
to
we
you.
are taking a short rest, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Lipless guy was just incinerated. There's nothing to inspect.
Uh,
Anyone have any idea what that was?
would you like to poke around the battlefield? It's been a bit crazy with Fireball going off, but if you want to take a look, you may.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to ask him why he was being such an asshole.
Did
Go
he
ahead and-
like look familiar? Like what? What a weird looking dude.
He did not look familiar to you. Go ahead and make an investigation check, Maslin, if you're looking around the battlefield here.
I'll support him.
Okay, make it an advantage.
Ooh.
21 is what I got.
21. Now taking a moment to be able to inspect the battlefield, you notice the split of what looks like two brass casings that would come together in a sphere. Kind of resting just on the other side of the rock where a lot of this action was going on, where these two creatures emerged. And the rest of you all piecing it together and telling Maslin these streaks of light. You're getting the sense that those streaks are where the creatures were embedded somehow. And you guys didn't get a good look at what had happened as you were clambering up the mountainside, but this looks to be some sort of device of a form.
Like a Pokeball.
Looks to be some sort of device. You saw, and I want to be clear here, you saw a similar-ish device when Alyavendi opened the rift that you all could run through. It was clearly a mechanical device that warranted something. With that investigation check, Maslin, I'll say, you get the sense that this device was used to implant these two creatures on the battlefield, lying in wait.
I want to take these two brass Pokeballs.
Well, it's split in two. It is currently an inert device. It has been used.
We just kill Professor Oak.
If you would go ahead and make an Arcana check as you're kind of looking over the two corpses of these Draconic creatures.
Me?
Maslin.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't realize I was looking them over, but
Well,
yeah, I
I-
was looking around.
You're
Oh,
looking at the
sweet, I rolled
battlefield,
high
but
again.
you're trying to figure out what the heck is going on here.
You should say perception or insight again.
Arcana.
Oh, Arcana. Oh, okay, that's really high then. It's gonna be a 23.
You've read about this before. These creatures called guard drakes. They're gifts from a dragon and used primarily, they imprint on whomever owns them, per se. A ritual is used to basically create these draconic creatures that aren't quite dragons, but they're often gifts to people who serve them. Or otherwise, you're not certain. But piecing together this shattered device, strange. Some creatures were gifted to this humanoid form. To what end and to accomplish what task, you're not sure, but he certainly had an interesting way of deploying them.
Well, I'd relay all this information and say, no, I'm just really curious what that entity was doing here, and if it was here to stop us, or if it was just here to stop anybody.
Or was it here to protect something?
We'll say the form of this creature that was the humanoid is burnt beyond most recognition. You can still make out the sharp teeth, per se, the strong bone structure. But as far as a close inspection, you'd have to ask Rox in her rage what it looked like up close. That sort of thing.
And there's something like in its pockets that would have, like would have been metal or something that would have survived.
You find general spell components, decent / basic armor, per se. It seemed, based on what you saw it do, most of its abilities were innate. You're not sure if maybe he was the master of these drakes because he's some other gift from a drake. Hard to say. There's a million ways the speculation can go.
He is Drake.
God damn it, it's always Drake. Okay. Progressing downward, making a little descent into what is essentially the ridge that the Not-Kana-Stroth builds up to, kind of meeting almost at half elevation with this plateau-ish mountain. You can see, kind of as you're approaching now, to the east, the tall mountain rocks. You recognize this tall mountain, the silhouette of it. It's where you conquered. It's where you won alongside your friend. Technically, you came second, but to get that far in the work queue in and of itself is an accomplishment. Can you imagine just over the ridge is the Not-Kana-Stroth? As you all clamber up and over here in these winter months, the wind is strong, but you find as soon as you crest the cliffside and kind of get down into this valley, the wind seems to pass it over. No longer harrying you. There's light snowfall. You can see light accumulation. Drusk, there's an immediate... There's a lot of... This valley is very verdant. Not just the location, but even compared to next to the mountains of the Venbor Range, everywhere you've traveled. It reminds you in a strange way of the Western Grove, perhaps, from the Azure Grove. How verdant it was there, but it's not quite as overgrown, per se. But the nature here flourishes in this valley.
Does it feel out of place to me?
What kind of wisdom check would you like to make?
Can I do survival?
Sure.
Feel survival-y. 24.
As you all crest over and kind of just take a spot here amongst the trees that kind of dot this area, you're taking it all in. It is strangely a little out of place, per se. And then you feel it. That warm wind you felt back at the opening months, or the opening days of the past month and a half, that guided you to the top of that mountain that's now up there on your right. You feel that guiding wind. In a strange way, it feels like everything's been pushing you towards this. There's something here. Of that much, you're already aware. You get this kind of ball in your stomach, wondering maybe that month and a half ago when you and Rox were on the top of the mountain and you turned northeast, maybe you should have descended into the valley. Or maybe you weren't ready. Maybe you needed these people as you look around at your newfound friends. Regardless, as you all take in the vista, Rox climbing a tree perhaps, get a good look, you can see some of the burned out buildings, some tents still standing of what was the Enfyx Kith within this valley. Make a perception check. Anybody who would like to climb to a vantage point.
Can I use my dagger for this then?
You may. You may use your Dagger of Panorama. This is a perfect opportunity for it.
Yes, it is. So I'm gonna try to use that then. I just have
20,
to.
25.
18.
I'll tell Carl to take a quick look around.
Thanks, Carl. Carl's the real G.
He is.
Carl got a natural 20. That's what Carl did. I don't know what that.
Carl's the real G.
I don't know what that takes his perception to, but I'm gonna call it 24. Fuck it. Who cares?
I just got a 9.
You have a different perspective though. It's very important. Drusk, as you climb nearby, gonna get yourself to a little cliffside with a viewing, you can see pretty keenly. There is activity in the valley here. You can see from here what appears to be robed figures. They're wearing masks. These look like Cloaked Serpent agents. A lot of bustling activity around one central building, per se. It doesn't look precisely like the Moor's SP tent as it was in the refugee camp, but reason tells you it probably is. And you can see kind of off to the northeast, with that kind of roll, you could see impressions in the grass of what you can only imagine would be cart tracks. As well, because of that stupid high roll, you notice just off to your west, kind of also sequestered near the edge of the valley, you catch a glimpse. And you could swear it's braided hair, a little bit of trinket and war paint. Looks sort of like how Rox did the day you found her. There's a certain look to her people. You're not sure if this is Jazz's hunting party or not.
I will clamber back down and pass that along to the group.
Should we see what the people out west are doing? I mean, they might be your people, Rox. I'm not sure.
It sounds like it. How far are they?
About 400, 450 feet.
About 400, 450 feet.
I'd love to do some sort of signal to get their attention, but I'd hate to draw unwanted attention. How many of the Cloaked Serpents were over there?
I will relay if I don't think I saw any, did I?
You saw forms and
Actual-
figures. I wouldn't say you stayed up long enough to get a count, per se.
Mm.
You know that they eclipse at least 24.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
we could,
Like
we
you,
could probably
you
use the help.
you reasonably say at least 24 people were bustling about out there.
Yeah. Sorry, I was under. I don't remember you exactly calling
No.
them Cloaked Serpents aside from.
Well, I said
Okay.
you know, a robe, maybe a mask, but your imagination leads you to believe
Yeah.
what you're expecting to see, right?
I mean, we could probably use the extra hands. Maybe
Okay.
they already have a plan to get in.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be super fucking helpful. Also, we're kind of outnumbered.
A little bit.
So,
A little bit. Only by like 4.
that's like 4 to 1 for every one of
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
We can do that. Couple fireballs.
I mean,
Round
just
them up
open
like
with some-
cattle.
Yeah, just open with like a Hail Mary. Just
Yep.
fucking
Boom!
go for it.
I mean, that's what they did to us. We might as well.
If only we wouldn't have gotten rid of the bombs. We could really just like,
Damn it. We don't have any left.
no.
Well, let's go get them and I'll go ahead and lead.
Okay.
Sure,
Are we
I think
approaching?
maybe-
Go on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think maybe this closely we should take our time, be nice and quiet about it.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'll cast Pass Without a Trace.
Good. Stealth checks from everybody, perhaps.
I will also mention very quickly, DM, during the short rest, I did do Nature's Recovery, so.
Nice.
Oh my god. Can't
Ed-
remember what that.
Add +10 to your result.
27.
11.
18. Ooh.
29.
11?
Did you roll a
Yep.
1?
Yep, rolled a 1.
Oh,
You had
no.
0?
What?
You had
Oh,
0?
stealth. I don't know what. Okay, so 15.
There you go. That's better.
22.
Yeah, that's 50.
Okay. I don't remember hearing Maslin's result, but I don't really think it matters. Your
21.
party. Oh, okay. Your party average is very high. Or at least high for your level, especially. You guys slowly move through the brush, trying not to step on a single twig or make a single sound. You're more worried, based on what you've heard, about being seen from the actors down in the valley down there than you are perhaps of your purported and suspected friends in front of you.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Alleged friends.
Alleged friends. You never know. One of them might come out of the bush with a fireball and fuck you all up. As you begin to press in, now you're pretty sure you're 75, 60 feet. The brush is thick. 50 feet.
Can I
Rocks.
see who it is yet?
You cannot see anybody. Both Rox and Zesserin, as you take another 10 feet, you stop. But the both of you realize there's the tip of a spear right in the center of your stomach. And you just
Yeah.
freeze. And then you kind of see the one in front of Rox kind of flips it back. And out, very well camouflaged in the brush here, emerges a dark-skinned humanoid, blue war paint down the side of his face, tight braided hair. This is the form, Rox, of Jazz, directly in front of you. As he makes a short whistle, the other spear is lowered, and you see multiple. What you see is the hunting party that Joss has led, kind of emerge from the brush here. As Jazz, I don't know what's wrong with me. Who knows? As
His name is
Jazz
Dracula.
lowers his spear and puts it to his side, he kind of drops it and goes in for a hug. I can't
Almost
believe it.
Stabbed me.
Well, you were sneaking up.
I don't blame you.
I can't believe you've made it.
I can't either. It's all due to these lovely folks behind me.
We've been observing them for a few days. They're moving stuff, things. It's not clear what. I've heard the sounds of blasting within,
Mhm.
but I'll admit I can't make it out. I haven't risked my hunting party yet.
I'll fill him in on everything that I know.
As you kind of trade information and intel, you can see there's a little bit of lightning on his face as he kind of waves the rest of you over. Introductions are had, unless you guys want to roleplay all that. He gets down your different names. You can see here, almost in a clearing in the dirt, has been laid down a piece of thatch, and multiple various small rocks and other things that indicate the valley as it rests before you. You can see, and he kind of shares the patrol patterns that they've noticed over the days. They didn't have enough numbers to execute, but Jazz kind of looks up, smiling now. But now we do. Rox, you want to go hunting?
I want to go hunting.
Okay. As you all trade the battle plan and prepare yourselves to go on a hunt, that is where we'll end today's session.
Very nice.
Going hunting.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a little bit of a
That's
short
fine.
one. But I figure that's a good stopping point, as we get to go to a hunt. I will describe to you guys at the start of next session how those work. They will be just like a chase sequence, which some of you experienced in your 0 sessions. The sequences are a little bit different. They're not necessarily initiative-based. They're more of how do you handle certain scenarios. So, but we will get into the details and the nitty gritty of all that in the next session.
Cool.
Wow.
All right.
That's fun.
Well, thank you guys for joining me again. Can't believe you guys come back. Do this.
I know, right?
Those enemies I ran against you were pushovers, but I was rolling like crap, to be honest. But that's how a cookie crumbles. Well, all right. Thanks, you 6 bastards, for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
was
thank you.
wonderful.
Thanks for running it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Thanks.
See you in 2 weeks
Something
to go
like that.
to go hunting.